Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to have a fun project. I'm going to do a lazy Suzanne or lazy Susie. I'm going to use two types of wood. I'm going to use a Maranti or a Balau, and I'm going to use an oak. I'm going to use resin. I'm going to use beads. I'm going to use some other surprises, lights, everything. So lights, so let's start. Lights, action. Starting with the base, creating the table himself. This one is, I think it's Obalau or Maranti. I'm not so sure. I'm not the best knowledge of wood. And that's where I'm starting. I'm going to do a groove and I'm going to do a recess into it. First, I'm going to square it, so I'm not going to have a vibration over there. And then I'm going to do the, how you call it, the channel and the recess. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like my channel. And the most important thing, put some comments at the bottom. I need to know if you like my videos or you don't like my videos. I'm using the black line parting tool as usual. It cuts into the wood like butter. You can see on the wood is start to be the sunset. It's the late in the afternoon. Look at those beautiful colors of the sun on my workshop, in my workshop, on my wood. I'm turning quite a deep recess here. The depthness of the recess will be exactly the same depthness of the rim around it. And you'll see just now, a little bit later, a little bit later, why I'm doing that. Of course, I'm using, for this thing, I'm using black line tools, the square carbide. Freehand drawing of what I'm thinking it's going to look like. I'm going to route it out. I'm planning to look like a lava coming out of the mountain. I'm doing it with a router and I'm doing it on a very slow pace. I'm going to do it in 3 or 4 steps, depthness steps, just for the safety. I don't want to jump straight into the depthness because it will jump and it will break the wood. So slowly, slowly, and it's much safer this way. It's going to be the first step of the resin that I'm going to put. I'm going to put resin in 3 stages, actually in 2 stages. No, actually 3 stages. I have to come right with my decision. And now I'm going to put beads from my friendly Chinese store. I got some beads in color of maroon, red, and orange, and darker red. It will look like the lava coming out. And I'm going to put a prism additive to my resin, and the resin is going to be goldish with a little bit of orange pearl. It's quite big to fit in my pressure pot. Now let's leave it overnight, and in the meantime what I'm going to do is this one is going to be a tenant that I'm going to create. So in a later stage I'm going to use it to hold my plate. You have to be patient and see how I do it, and that's going to be my one of my extra one that's holding the plate, one tenant. And now I'm going to take a piece of oak and I'm going to do the base of the lazy Suzanne. I'm going to do it like on a 3-tier tower, and smooth it on the sides, and that will be the base of the table. This is a light that I'm going to insert in the middle, and it will create, and I'll have a light underneath the table, so it will shine through the. Hopefully, it will shine through the to the resin. On one of my conversations with John from Black Line, he asked me, "Why don't you try and hollow with the triangle tip?" So I decided I'll try and play with it on this one, and I'll try to hollow the wood for the light with the what they call a W or a V shape carbide tool. It looks like a triangle one, and man, it. Thank you, John. It worked very well to do it. Going back to the light, it's battery operated. I got it from Amazon. It's got a remote control, so you can choose when to switch it on, when to switch it off, and also the color that you want it to display. And I thought that would be nice to do it on this project, because you don't want to go in every time, lift it up and change the color, or switch it on, switch it off. And because it's on a table, you don't want to bring also power. So I thought that it's a clever idea. I don't know, clever idea. I think so. So that's the finish. I'm doing it I'm finishing also with OB shine juice. Before that, I used Yorkshire grid. Yorkshire grid and OB shine juice also on oak. Look how nice it comes out. A little bit of decoration at the bottom of the table, sandpaper at Yorkshire grid. It's enough on your Yorkshire grid, and then I'm going to put my logo on top of it. That's how it looks 24 hours, actually 36 hours later. Some of those um, beads are sticking out, so I'll have to be very, very, very careful when I cut them out, so I don't break them out of the resin. So I have to be very slow, very careful, and cut a lot of air. Now, because it's a table, I'll have to square it 100%. So I'm going to put a light underneath it, so it will shine up. So if I put a ruler, I'll see if there is gaps on the table. Here, you can see it now. I'm going to use here from 150 to 600, and then I'm going to use some water pads to smooth it as much as possible. That will be the top of the table. You remember the tenant that I made? That is the tenant hot gun glue. For some reason or another, the part where I showed you how to, I used the tailstock to put it on, but I think that everybody knows how to do it. And now I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to work the other side. I'm going to work on the bottom, on the base of the, not on the base, on the bottom of the, how you call it, the table. such a fun. It's such a pleasure when you have a sharp tool and it just slides into the wood, and it with a very smooth stroke, it goes from one side to another. It's just so fun. It's such a huge pleasure. Now you can start seeing the resin coming out from underneath, and that's where I'm looking at to get the whole thing, so you can see the whole cut of the resin. It's almost there. It's almost there, and now I have to be very careful not to go too deep and break one of those beads out. Now you'll see that I'm doing a recess, but it's a very strange one, a very unique one. You will see just now why. I'm going to cut one groove straight. It's 90 degrees to the project, and then I'll cut another groove on 45 degrees. And you will ask yourself, why 45 degrees and why do I do it? And there is a surprise for it, and there is a reason for it. Like my wife said, there is a reason to your madness. So stick here and you'll see I think it's a clever idea. You will have to be the judges to say if it's clever or not. But stick around, you'll see what I'm doing with it. It's quite interesting. The same here, 120, 150, all the way to 600. Then on this side, because it's at the bottom, I can also use Yorkshire grid, because I don't have to put anything above it. No, I don't have to put any resin or work with resin above it. So I'm putting Yorkshire grid to smooth it out. A little bit of light from behind to see how it looks like, and I'm happy with it. So let me remove it from the glue and prepare it for the next one. I use here a piece of formica that I had lying around, and I'm going to create a barrier, create a vessel for the top of the table, so I can put some resin so it's not going to spill around. I'm going to balance the table so it will be equal and balanced. Going to put half a centimeters of resin above it, and of course that's how it looks like the next day. And here I discovered that I've got a problem. The formica doesn't want to come out, so I had to machine it out, and for some reason or another it wasn't 100% balanced, so I've got like an angle to the resin, so I'll have to machine it and square it back again. I'm going to use on this side novus polish 321, actually 232, and I'm going to polish the resin nicely and smoothly so it will look beautiful. Now you'll see why I used this angle. I'm cutting a mirror, and I'm creating small squares of mirror that I'm going to glue and cover with resin to secure it in place in an angle. And the reason is in my head is the reason why 45 degrees is when the light will shine, it will go through the resin, but it will shine on the on the on the mirrors, and because it's 45 degrees, it will bounce to the sides, and I'll have more lights towards the rest of the resin and the beads. Look how beautiful it came out. Unbelievable. Now I can play with the colors and I can play, oh, it came out beautiful. And if you like it, don't forget, of course, to subscribe to my channel, like my channel, and of course, comment at the bottom on my channel. Thank you very much for staying at my video and staying all the way to the end. And I'll see you in my next video. Cheers, Aaron.